Hey, welcome back to the Crash Space. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're back with some more Falcon gameplay. We're playing against Expert Black Widow, and this is not the leadership deck we played last week with all our allies. This is a protection deck, and we're focusing on two ideas. Firstly, maintaining the top of the deck or controlling the top of the encounter deck to make sure we have low boost icons or high boost icons. And we're also playing a new card that came in the Falcon kit. This is Ops Room, which is a protection card that allows you to block and take less damage and remove some threat. We're specifically in this deck going to be blocking with some allies, so we have some really big allies to put in the way, and they're going to be operating the Ops Room. So it's an interesting deck, and I think against Black Widow, we're going to have a great time. Of course, there's timestamps in the description, so we'll be talking about the deck really quickly. If you want to jump straight to gameplay, please do. If you want to take a second to leave a like on the video, that also helps the channel grow a lot. So let's talk about this deck. We're playing Falcon. And this deck, again, we're focusing on two things. Firstly, Falcon's ability to see the top card of the counter deck is pretty wild. It's actually really, really powerful when you're playing solo, because functionally we'll be seeing the boost card that we'll be getting on our next activation. And of course, we'll just know what the top of the deck is. And so this deck is focusing on that ability to kind of control the top of the deck and make sure we have low boost icons going into the villain phase and high boost icons going into the hero phase so that we can attack and thwart and do a lot of damage. The two big cards in this deck, and like every Falcon deck, we have Red Wing. Red Wing's just so powerful, and you play Red Wing once, twice, 3 times, sometimes a turn, and you can return Red Wing back to your hand, recall the bird to be able to do damage or threat based off the icons on the top of the deck. If we see big icons, we'll send out Red Wing, we'll bring Red Wing back, and this just kind of chips the villain down. It's surprising how much damage and thwart you get off of Red Wing compared to some of your events that are meant to be doing damage and threat. The next card that's really important is Battlefield Awareness. And this card, if we see on top of the deck, there's a lot of boost icons, so we can discard those boost icons when attacking or thwarting or even defending, but that won't be happening a lot. And we'll get +1 for each boost icon and star on that card. Same idea, know the top of the deck, and big icons are good for us, and we're going to be pushing ourselves forward. Now, we're playing protection, and I wanted to focus on the ability that we know the top of the deck. And so there's one protection card really that lines up well with that, and that's Leading Blow. I don't play this card a lot. I think I've only really played this in Drax, I think. It's a 0-cost hero interrupt that says when your hero makes a basic attack, you discard the top card in the counter deck, and your attack gets reduced by the amount of boost icons on that card. Now, if your attack still does damage, and mind you, Falcon does attack for 2, we get a ready our hero. So functionally, if we know the top of the deck is a 0 boost icon, this just becomes a 0 for 2 attack, and we can buff that with things like Battlefield Awareness, and then we get a free ready. So usually about a 0 for 2. But the big thing to keep in mind is with Battlefield Awareness and Leading Blow, we can actually choose the activation order because they both have the same timing. So for instance, if we see the top of the deck has big boost icons, when we attack, we can fire Battlefield Awareness first, discard 3 boost icons, then we're on 5 attack, and then we discard the card underneath it, which of course we'll have no information what that card is, but that card can't have 5 boost icons. So we'll probably end up doing 2 to 4 damage and then getting a free ready. This is cute. It's a nice way to interact with Falcon's ability to see the top of the deck and control the top of the deck. I'll be honest, it's not like the first order, most powerful thing you can do in Falcon, but it's a really cute interaction, and so we're going to be leaning into it. Speaking of at the top of the deck control, our last card that really works with this is Cosmo. We're playing the basic ally Cosmo. This Guardian only comes in for 2. And while Cosmo only thwarts and attacks for 1, when Cosmo uses that basic activation, you can name a card type and discard the top card of any deck. We're going to be mostly, of course, discarding the top of the counter deck. Now, if we correctly name the top card of the deck that we just discarded, so we are getting cards off the top of the counter deck, Cosmo just takes no consequential damage. Now, this is important because, again, we really care that the top of the deck either has no icons or 3 boost icons. So this is just another tool in our kit to control the top of the deck and just be 1 thwart or 1 attack every single turn forever. So this is our package engine to control the top of the deck, as much as, of course, we have all the Falcon cards. And of course, keep in mind Falcon's ability too allows you to discard the top card of the deck when you play an aerial card like Red Wing, which we can play multiple times every turn if we really try. That is package 1. It's going to be interesting. Controlling the top of the deck is really fun, but it's package 2 that I think is a bit more exciting and gets to play with some of the new cards. This is Ops Room, and it's a card that came alongside the Falcon pack in the back of the pack, and it's a 0-cost shield support for 2. It's protection, and it says when a friendly character would take any amount of damage while defending, you can remove an alert counter from an Ops Room to prevent one of that damage, and then remove threat from a scheme. This card looks a lot like one of my favorite protection cards, which is Energy Barrier, and Energy Barrier is just absolutely fantastic. Instead of removing threat, Energy Barrier redirects damage into more damage, so you can target anybody on the table. But the big difference between Energy Barrier and Ops Room that made me originally not excited for Ops Room is Energy Barrier just fires whenever you would take damage. Ops Room is a bit more specific. Ops Room only fires when a friendly character would take damage while defending. Now, this defending clause is actually kind of awkward because generally if you're playing protection, you want to defend and take no damage. That's usually what you build into, because if you're going to use your basic once per turn activation and you use it in the villain phase to defend, it's probably for the best that you take no damage. Especially in this game, there's so many cards that fire when you take no damage, the perfect block archetype. So cards like Hard to Ignore don't really compare well to Ops Room, where you can have multiple of these, of course. Not that you can't have multiple Ops Rooms, but they're cheaper. And if you take no damage, which is good, then you remove a whole bunch of threat. So Ops Room is a bit more tricky. It is notable that if you play a defense traded event, you're considered to defend. So if you take any of that damage, you might, then you can actually fire Ops Room. That's cool, but we're not doing that so much in this deck because we don't run that many defense events. Now, the cool thing about Ops Room that I don't think I appreciated is when a friendly character would take any amount of damage while defending, and that means we can be defending with allies. And that's what this deck is trying to do. We're playing some of the strongest allies that you want to be defending with, and now when these allies defend, we'll be controlling the top of the counter deck. So we're going to try and make sure that we have low boost icons on the top of the deck, and then we put these allies in the way, they will exhaust to defend, and then Ops Room will reduce that minimal damage and return damage with things like Retaliate, but of course also control the main scheme or side schemes with Ops Room. We're playing 3 allies that do this job for us. We have Rockslide, who comes in for 4 costs, which is pretty expensive. This 6 health X-Men has Retaliate 1. And that means we're going to put Rockslide in the way. We're going to be defending constantly with Rockslide. We're never going to activate for the thwart and the attack. Ideally, we take only 1 damage around, maybe 2 damage around, but with Ops Room, we'll be reducing that damage and, of course, taking threat off the scheme. Similarly, we have Snowguard, and this Canadian champion, we're going to be going for the 3 shift counters to give her 8 health and Retaliate 1. That is technically better than Rockslide because Rockslide's 1 thwart or 3 attack. We don't care about that. But 8 health Retaliate just means with Ops Rooms, we can keep Snowguard around for a really long time and just put her in the way, blocking all the time and just not worry about the villain activating. Finally, we're trying out Victor Mancha. Victor Mancha is a really strange card. This Android Avenger comes in cheaply at 2 cost with 4 health, but when Victor would take any amount of damage, reduce that damage by 1. So if the villain is attacking for 2, which Black Widow is, and we see a 1 or 0 boost icon on top of the deck, it's actually pretty common with Ops Room that Victor takes no damage. Now we lose the Retaliate, so we're not actually damaging the villain back, but we do get all that Ops Room value, and we're not worried about the villain's activation on the villain phase, which is quite cute. Now to support this, we have a couple support cards. We have Med Team. Med Team is expensive. This comes down with 3 counters, which you can use to heal 2 damage from a friendly character, either a hero or an ally. And so in the mid game, once we have one of our injured blockers, we can just nurse them back to health. It is important to keep in mind we only have 3 ally slots in protection, so we generally will have Cosmos 1 slot, Red Wing as another slot, and the 3rd slot will be one of the blockers. So if that blocker is defeated, we'll probably just find the 2nd or 3rd blocker by then, so it's not too big of a deal. This card's okay. We also have Render Medical Aid, a 0 cost side scheme, has 3 threat, and when this is cleared, we can heal 5 damage from among players they control. I'm trying this out for the first time in my testing decks. This wasn't in there, but it's a cheap card we can get on the table, no problem. And then in the mid to late game, we can just heal out all our blockers and ourselves if we want to. 3 threats, not too bad when we're playing solo. And that's our protection rig. It is going to be allies doing all the work for us, just blocking all those attacks. We're going to be healing them up, and Ops Room is also going to be doing some threat. In theory, a full Ops Room is like not bad. It's 3 threat and 3 damage mitigation, like 3 healing. So that's each 2 for 6 functionally, which is okay. And it's a card you can preload on the table and then gets its value later on. Now, the rest of our deck, we are playing protection. And so we're playing my favorite aerial card. This is a protection aerial event called Ever Vigilant. Straight up might be my favorite aerial card. It just feels so smooth. It costs 2. You can only play it if you're aerial, which we are in hero mode. We ready our hero and remove 2 threat from the main scheme. Just so great. And we're not going to be defending a lot. So we're going to be able to like attack and then thwart. And with battlefield awareness and all the other ways to boost our skills, those extra activations work out really well. All that's left in the deck is just some resources. So we're playing Energy, Genius, and Strength. We're playing 3 copies of the Power of Flight. The new art on this is just incredible, but this generates 2 resources for aerial cards. We're running fewer aerial cards than the last time we played Falcon. I think we're down to 15 aerial cards. Then we have 2 copies of the Power of Protection. A lot of our protection cards cost at least 2, so both of these line up really well. We have a Quinn Carrier and a team building exercise, so 2 resource generators. Quinn Carrier is just fantastic, and we are an Avenger, so it just generates a wild. And we have team building exercise to reduce the cost of our Avengers and to reduce the cost of aerial cards. And we're going to be playing Red Wing a lot, so getting both of these down on the table means we get a free Red Wing every turn. I just want to highlight 3 cards that were in the deck at some point, and you can definitely consider them. Firstly, we have Protection Daredevil. Protection Daredevil is pretty cool. Only has 3 health, which makes blocking a bit harder. But if Daredevil survives the attack, you can functionally heal Daredevil and have pseudo retaliate. You get to move damage from Daredevil to the attacking enemy. This card just really excels if you're playing, say, against a scenario that has a lot of small attack, but a lot of minions. So things like maybe Mutagen Formula, things like Ultron, but Daredevil's not bad. You just have to be very careful because you really need to manage the top of the deck because 3 health means that if you have 1 bad boost icon, Daredevil's not going to survive to fire the attacks. Victor Mancha is taking that slot. We also tried Hangar Bay, and I'll be honest, it feels like this is the deck that should want to play Hangar Bay because it's one of the few cards that cares about blocking with allies, and we are a blocking with allies deck. But unfortunately, I found out that this just really wasn't worth the slot in my testing. This is really good if the villain's activating twice or you have a lot of minions so that you can use an ally to block the villain and then block a minion, but this has just kind of been a dead card. It has almost never fired, let alone the turns that it's fired. We're not attacking or thwarting with our minions, so it hasn't been great. Of course, I want to shout out Cannonball, who's been in every Falcon deck I've played. This is the first time that it's not in there. We replaced Cannonball with Cosmo the dog, and we just want a bit more control at the top of the deck. But we have 15 aerial cards. It would be 16, I guess, if you play Cannonball, as much as that 16th doesn't matter. But it's really easy to get Cannonball on the table and just get 2 sword and 2 attack every single turn of the game. That's the list. Control the top of the deck, block with some protection allies, make sure we're not taking any damage, and then use our basic activation, which we're going to buff up. And in our testing so far, it's been really fun. This scenario is a bit interesting though, because we're playing against Black Widow, and Black Widow interacts both favorably and disfavorably with Falcon. It's a really interesting matchup. So this is Black Widow. We're playing on expert, so we're starting on Black Widow 2, who comes in with 16 health. And she says, when revealed, we'll place 2 threat on the main scheme. Now, the big thing about Black Widow, scheming for 2, attacking for 2. So again, we can make that a 2 attack if we make sure the top of the deck has no boost icons. Says, when a character you control attacks Black Widow, remove a threat from the main scheme. Then you discard the top card of the counter deck and resolve a preparation ability on that card. And most of the Black Widow cards have preparation text that says things like take no damage, spawn a minion. They can do some bad stuff. Now, this is worded as a cost. So if there's no threat on the main scheme, you can ignore this. But the big thing about this is a forced interrupt. So if we fire something like Battlefield Awareness that says when we attack, discard the top card of the deck, while we see a 3 boost on the top of the deck, we want to be attacking for 5 with Falcon. The problem is Black Widow's effect fires first. So that means Black Widow actually will discard the top card of the deck, which will have bad boost icons, and then we have to decide to do Battlefield Awareness as much as we will see the next card. So it's kind of tricky. It does give us some advantage because we can see the top of the deck, and if it doesn't have a preparation ability, we can just attack and get a free threat off the top, off the main scheme, which is kind of cool. So it's weird because you just have to make sure that this always fires first, which sometimes can gum up a bit of our game plan, but we also can control the top of the deck. So sometimes it works out for us. We start with this one scheme. It's called the Widow's Web. Now we're playing stock standard Black Widow with all the recommended encounter sets. So Black Widow has a bunch of treacheries, a lot of preparation cards, some minions. Aim Abduction is a cool set, has a couple allies, and we can lose some of our minions, so we have to watch out for that. And then we have Aim Science. I think overall the boost icons are relatively high. It's like 1.5 to about 2. There's not that many star icons. I think a lot of those star type abilities are attached to the preparation, but we're playing with all that, and we're playing with standard and expert. It says set up, each player searches the encounter deck for a minion and puts that into play, engage with them, and then shuffle. So we have a couple choices here. So I think there's 6 unique choices. Very importantly, this says put into play, so you don't do any on revealed effects, so nothing like Surge. We want to look at our options here. From Black Widow herself, we have Aim Commando if we want. This Quick Strike won't fire because we're an alter ego, so that's not a bad choice. It only has 3 health and 2 attack. We can also take the Aim Grunt, which has Guard, and I don't know if we're going to be attacking Black Widow on turn 1, so 5 health Guard is pretty reasonable. Now, what we have to also keep in mind is some of these cards have no boost icons, and that's sometimes something we want to keep in the deck, but also sometimes we want big boost icons, so I don't know what to say about that. Now, this is the card that I usually end up taking. This is Aim Abductor. And the reason why is we don't have to do the when revealed. The thing is, when Aim Abductor shows up in the game, we have to lose control of one of our allies. And we have some very expensive allies, so I'm likely to take this card. It has 2 boost icons. Then we have Aim Soldier and Aim Scientist that work together. This won't fire the when revealed, so it's functionally just a patrol, 3 health, 1 scheme, 2 attack. And then we have Aim Scientist, which is a really cool card. We only have 1 way in the deck to do any stuns or confuses, so vulnerable. It's not really active text. So this is another real cheap ally that we could get onto the table on turn 1. I think we're going to just grab Aim Abductor because I don't want to draw an Aim Abductor in the mid to late game. Our deck really cares about allies, so I want to make sure that's one less thing we can run into. And then we'll just go ahead and shuffle the deck. Now to flip over the Widow's Web, it's our only scheme. It comes in with 2 more threats, so we're starting at 4 of only 10. Now this card also gets 2 threat a turn because X is equal to the Widow's stage number, and because we're playing on expert, Widow starts on stage 2. It says you track this missing shield specialist to a decommissioned stretch of subway tunnels and discover her kidnapper's base of operations. Eventually, this will be 3 a turn when we get to stage 3, so we have to make sure the threat is kind of kept in check here. We also do have a bit of control of knowing what kind of boost cards we're not going to be drawing, because if we see on the top of the deck something like an advance, we know that'll be our boost card as long as we don't deck out. And that means there's only 2 advances in the deck, so it's less likely we draw into an advance. We do have to be careful though. Black Widow just has a bunch of treacheries that say Black Widow attacks you again with another boost card or schemes. So while we're playing around the things like the advance and the assault from standard, there's just extra cards like covert ops and attack acrobatics. So we can't get double attacked. We can't get double schemed. That can be an issue. So we're going to have to keep that threat down at a minimum, make sure that we keep healthy and have a couple allies. All right, we'll give that a shuffle and a cut, and we'll just shuffle up our deck and we should be off. And with that, we should be off. We're just shuffling up. I had to reshuffle because I realized I forgot to take these 3 cards out of the deck, which were meant to be the cards that we were meant to remove from the deck. So we're going to have to do that again. But otherwise, we are off. We have the Aim Abductor on the table with 4 health, only attacking for 2, so we don't have to get rid of it right away. But we can find one of our Bird of Prey attacks that does 4 damage for 2, which is not too bad. Otherwise, we can set up pretty aggressively and consistently. We are definitely going to use Sam's ability here, usually to grab a bird card. Usually Falcon's Flock. That's 5 resources as soon as turn 1 for aerial cards. We have a lot of aerial cards, but making sure we're setting up in the right order. We need to find our allies. Otherwise, we're going to be blocking with ourselves. And that's not the best thing you want to be doing in this deck. Okay. With that, mulligan 6 cards and we're off. First card we have is Energy. That's kind of perfect. It's a double, generates 2 resources. That's great for setup. We have a lot of 2 cost plus cards, so we're always going to keep that. That's a perfect card to keep. It's a resource generator. This will reduce the cost of our aerials and our avengers, so that's a really great start. You want those as soon as you can. Bird of Prey, that's really good too. That's exactly what we want for Aim Abductor. So it's likely that we can do Energy for team building. Then we can go grab our Falcon's Flock, especially if we draw Power of Flight, and then Bird of Prey can deal with Aim Abductor. So pretty good setup. Ops Room. We might honestly not keep this because this is only good once we have our allies in play, but it's not a bad setup card because we can defend in the first couple turns and get some, mitigate some of that damage and also get some threat up. We have Render Medical Aid. We won't keep this. This is our side scheme. This is only really good in the mid to late game. It's a 0 cost card, so you can easily play it. And then we have a Quinn Carrier, which is also pretty expensive and might actually end up challenging the slot of the team building exercise. It's a better card overall because it's more flexible, but yeah, it's a lot harder to get on the table. So we definitely don't keep these. So the question is, how do we plan our turn out? Say that this is our hand, right? So if we don't keep the Quinn Carrier, we could throw the Quinn Carrier out. Let's see if we can play the Quinn Carrier. I don't think we can, but if we go use Quinn Carrier to use Sam Wilson's ability, and then we go get our Falcon's Flock, that means this is out. These 2 cards play the Falcon's Flock. If we Energy for team building, then team building plus Falcon Flock plays Bird of Prey. That actually will perfectly work out for us. But at the end of the day is we just can't play the Quinn Carrier. Now, this is where like mulliganing is interesting because if we discard more cards, we'll see deeper. And if we find one of our 4 cost allies, we can't play that 4 cost ally on turn 1. So we end up discarding it for the cycle. And that's pretty bad. We don't need to keep the Quinn Carrier. Now, if we throw it out, we see deeper, but honestly, maybe we're okay with just the setup. It's a pretty good setup. And if we draw our allies, we're in a bad spot. So I will keep the Quinn Carrier. It's a weird mulligan strat. But sometimes seeing deeper, if you can't play those cards, hurts you. If we find a Power of Flight, though, it helps, but it doesn't help that much because it just gives us 1 extra card in hand, and I don't think we can use 1 extra card in hand. Actually, no, we can. We can play the Quinn Carrier, so then we'll keep the Quinn Carrier. Aerial Recon, okay, that would be good if this is a double because Aerial Recon is such a strong card, just a really flexible card, and we can play it for free functionally with our Falcon's Flock. So if this is a double, it's not. It's a leading blow. Okay, let's see if we can make this make sense. This card is just so good, especially in solo. It means you can jump down and all you have to take is the activation, which you'll know exactly how bad the activation is. And then you can get a bunch of counters early and then in the late game draw no boost cards, which is kind of backwards of how your power curve works. But in a pinch, it also allows you to control the top of the deck. So I like it a lot. Okay, so Sam Wilson's ability can go grab a card, a bird card. We don't need to do it, but we can do it for sure. But in theory, we could consider not doing it because our setup is already relatively good, especially if we get 2 research generators. I don't think there's any chance we can. So greedily, if we want to do leading blow, Energy into Quinn Carrier, we could do Quinn Carrier and Aerial Recon to team building, and then we can't play Bird of Prey. So that's not good. We can definitely do Energy for team building. Team building can play Recon. Quinn Carrier and leading blow can play Bird of Prey. But I don't think there's any way to do them that much better. So I think we do just get our Falcon's Flock. So if that's the case, we'll throw our leading blow to the Bird of the Feather and we'll go grab our Flock. Okay. This card's immensely powerful. 5 resources, 5 bird counters for different aerial cards, and we have at least 1 aerial card in this hand that we can play. It's a shame about the Recon. Real shame. Shuffle up real quick. Now, before we play any cards, we're going to flip up to hero mode because in hero mode, when we play an aerial card, we can discard the top card of the deck. So we'll flip up first before we play any more cards. Because now when we're hero mode, we get to see the top card of the deck and has 1 boost icon, which means we know Widow's going to attack us for 3, which is not that bad at all. So I think we're okay with that. We won't interact with it. So we will do Energy for team building exercise. Really good to have this early. Again, we know we're not getting our Quinn Carrier, but we can exhaust this to play a card from our hand that has to be one of our traits. So for our hero, that's either Aerial or Avenger. We have a lot of Aerial cards. We only have, I think, like 1 Avenger card. Actually, Quinn Carrier is an Avenger. Hold the phone. So can we play for Quinn Carrier? Yeah, but then we hold 1 card. So in theory, we could just like tank the Aim Abductor and play Quinn Carrier team building on turn 1 and Aerial Recon. That means we shouldn't have grabbed the Falcon's Flock, so maybe I'm not going to commit to that line, but yeah, in theory, we had a line where team building helps us play Quinn Carrier plays Aerial Recon. I think we'll just get rid of the Aim Abductor so we're not being attacked for 5 on turn 1. That seems bad. So we'll team building exercise and throw out the Quinn Carrier for Falcon's Flock. This is our resource generator. It comes in with 5 counters. Then we'll exhaust this and spend 1 to play Bird of Prey. This will just do 4 damage as perfect into the Aim Abductor. We won't discard the top of the deck for 1 more damage. We're okay with 1 boost icon. I think that's on average a bit lower than we expect, which is great. And then either we can attack for 2, discarding this card and 1 threat, or we can just thwart for 2. Because of course, Black Widow's ability says that when you attack her, If there's threat on the main scheme, you have to remove a threat, discard the top card of the deck, and do its preparation text. Now, this card doesn't have preparation text, but we're pretty okay with a 1 boost because we want to just take 3 damage. It could be a lot worse. We'll see if it is. So that's it. We'll draw back up to 5. Not bad setup. Battlefield Awareness, that's perfect. That's so good. Power of Flight means we can play that for free. We have a Talon Line, which is not my favorite card. It's really kind of weird. It's awkwardly not aerial traded, so it is really expensive to get down, but the ready and the stun is not too bad. And stun's actually kind of cool. Like, this deck doesn't have a lot of status effects, but stun and confuse is really cool because then it's not that you see the boost card, is you see the encounter card, and sometimes that's a bit more valuable. Fourth card, we have Draw Their Fire, which is totally whatever, and then we have an Ever Vigilant, which is perfect. So we should be able to play this. We should be able to play this for free in Battlefield Awareness. So we can play 3 cards off this hand, which is a real good reason to get Falcon's Flock early. In fact, with team building, we might be able to play 1 more. All right, Widow's Web goes up by the villain stage number, so it goes to 4 of 10. If that advances, we do lose, so watch out. And Black Widow is attacking for 3 cards here. I don't think we're going to block. Blocking just like heals 2. Now in this hand, we can have Power Flight to wake up for Ever Vigilant, take 2 off of this, and then thwart for 2 anyways. So either we're attacking for 2, which is technically usually more than 2, because we can do the preparation thing, discard the top of the deck, so our attack is usually worth 3. Let alone with Battlefield Awareness, it's a bit more. So I think we're just going to go ahead here and not block and take 3 damage. We're down to 7 health. Encounter card, totally unknown. Acrobatics, okay. I'm glad we didn't block because, well, it doesn't really matter, but this is such a rough card. When revealed, if you're in alter ego form, suddenly your hero form, Black Widow's attacking with 2 boost cards. We're going to block this for sure because there's a chance we just take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. We can't die here, but it could be really, really bad. So we'll have to defend here. Black Widow attacking for 2. No boost on Assault, sick. And 2 boosts on Widow's Bite, so 4 damage. We only end up taking 2. Down to 5 health, and it's back to us. See the top card of the deck? It is Dance of Death, not my favorite card. Really rough when you're playing a lot of allies for sure, but really cool how they adjusted this card to not be incredibly disastrous based off of the original Black Widow hero version. So this will just do 1 damage to us, so not that bad. It has 2 boost icons though, that's probably more relevant. Okay, so it's us. Now, very importantly with Falcon, when we play an aerial card, we can discard the top card of the deck. So I think we're okay discarding that to do maybe an attack for 4. It has preparation text. It says deal 1 damage to each character you control. That's not the worst preparation text. And again, what's really important is that if we attack into Black Widow with Battlefield Awareness, you have to fire Black Widow's text first. So you end up discarding this, and then the next card is the card you discard with Battlefield. That's just because Black Widow's text is forced, and this is not forced. So with the same triggers, the forced have to go first. This might be a reasonable Talon line, but what can we play here? So Ever Vigilant gets played for free with team building Falcon's Flock. We can play Awareness for this, so we can't play Talon line. So we can just play Draw Their Line for 1 and save a Falcon's Flock counter. I think that's kind of fine. Draw Their Fire is kind of a whatever card here. It's a bit nicer with Ops Room actually, because you technically get the Ops Room value without having to block or to exhaust yourself more accurately. You do have to defend, but that's kind of a cool interaction we have got going. So I think the 2 on the top is kind of fine. The deal 1 damage preparation is not the worst, so I think that's okay. We could discard it and hope for better. Maybe we should. Yeah, let's try and push our luck. So we'll do team building to generate for an aerial. Generate for an aerial. We'll play Ever Vigilant. Again, just my favorite card. Ready yourself. Remove 2 threat. Just such a smooth card. And then here we played an aerial card. So using Falcon's ability, we can discard the top card of the deck. Yeah, that's fine. Do we want to? Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll see the next card, which is 2 boost icon, preparation, place 1 threat on the main scheme. That's covert ops. We have to watch out for these. I think there's 2 in the deck, and this is like kind of worse than advance. And if we're flipping down with only 10 threat on the main scheme, that's a pretty narrow window sometimes. Okay, preparation not good. So I think we're just going to see deeper here. We'll play Power Flight for Battlefield Awareness. It's another aerial card, and we're going to control the top of the deck. So we'll also choose to discard this by just playing an aerial card. 2 boost icons attached to Black Widow. Not great, gives Black Widow retaliate, but not that hard to get rid of. Issue with this is Black Widow will now be attacking for 3 in a card, and we don't love that. So I think here we'll just throw a Talon line to play Draw Their Fire. This discards to be able to block. This is aerial, so we'll also discard this. We're looking for no preparation. After this attack, stun the attacking character. It's Widow's Bite, so not the worst. Still not great, but I think we have to attack here, or we can thwart. We know that Widow's going to be attacking us for 4, which with Draw Their Fire is not the end of the world, but we're going to get rid of this, I think. So I think we just attack for 2, because it does 2 damage, plus whatever awareness does, and it brings us down to 1, which seems fine. So we'll attack with Falcon. With Falcon, we want to use Battlefield Awareness. The problem is, again, this goes after, because this is when Falcon uses a basic power, but Black Widow's text supersedes that. It says when a character you control attacks and forced goes first. So we discard the top card of the deck. That's Widow's Bite that says, after this attack, stun the attacking character. I have to remember about this. Stun kind of lines up poorly with where the microphone is, so it's easy to forget this. But that's 2 damage, and now we'll do Battlefield Awareness. So this discards the top of the deck. In theory, we can see this before we fire it. It has 1 boost, so it does an extra damage. This goes down to 1, mind you. Do we want to do 1 extra damage and ensure that we have a low boost card? I think we don't. So I don't think we fire Battlefield Awareness. I believe we should see the next card because we always get to see the top card of the deck during a player phase. So we're attacking for 2. Black Widow takes 2. Down to 14. Black Widow will attack us for 3, which is super acceptable. And I think we'll just pass here. All right, we control the top of the deck. It didn't work out great for us, but that's okay. Bird of Prey is our damage card. We have Cosmo to control the top of the deck. We have Power of Flight. Ideally, we want to draw into one of our big minions. Ever Vigilant is perfect. And then we have Aerial Evacuation. So no allies, sorry, not minions, allies. No allies so far, which is not great. The more you draw on the same hand of them, that's awkward because they are pretty expensive, but this goes up to 3. And we know Widow's attacking us for 3. I think we'll just use Draw Their Fire here. We're stunned. We want to get rid of the stunned. We have an Ever Vigilant, so we can play those 2, no problem. And then we can do a bunch of damage, which helps. It just pushes the game forward. We actually don't want to push too aggressively because when Black Widow advances to Black Widow 3, then the Widow's Web is really unkind to us because every round we'll be adding 3 threat a turn, and that's a lot if we're not set up to kind of deal with that. So we want to kind of pace ourselves a bit. We don't want to go too slow, of course, especially because milling the deck, getting rid of cards on the top of the deck gets you to the acceleration a bit faster than you're used to. But we also want to be kind of mindful. Yeah, I think we'll just use Draw Their Fire here. It's sometimes a bit better on a turn that you know than counter card that you're drawing into because you've set it with Aerial Recon and you can block a Devil attack. We'll say that we'll be able to defend without exhausting. So maybe we keep that for an ops room. Maybe it is better we keep that for an ops room. Yeah, let's try and keep that for an ops room turn, actually. That works out a bit better for us. So we will just take 3 damage. That's a lot of damage. We'll just defend. So we'll take 1. And counter card, we don't know what it is. Grappling Hook. Okay. This says attached to Black Widow. When a player plays an event card, cancels effect and discard this, then discard this card. So we just want to play a cheap event. And ideally, we don't cancel our Ever Vigilant. We want to cancel something like the Bird of Prey, which actually the stun will cancel that too. I think the stuns happen before the forced interrupts. I think status cards happen very, very quickly over interrupts for sure. Top card of the deck is an aim commando. So it has 1 boost icon. The preparation is put this into play. And then it has quick strike. So that's not great for us. All right. That grappling hook is really awkward. That's for sure. Because we have 2 events in our hand. One of them will get canceled or this one will get canceled, but the stun will cancel first. We're exhausted, which is pretty ugly too. So I don't have a good read here of what we want to be doing. Looking at the discard pile, if we want to consider flipping down, we've seen 1 copy of Covert Ops and we've seen no advances. So there's 3 cards in the deck that say that Black Widow can scheme once more, which is not great. We can always use Aerial Evacuation to just hop down so we can just tank an attack. Oh no, we can't do that because this has another friendly character. So we at least need a minion or sorry, an ally. So I guess Cosmo can do it. We in fact could like activate with Cosmo and then prevent the consequential with Cosmo. Cosmo's, it's not a forced interrupt. So you can just hop down if you want to, but we are exhausted. So that's a really bad grappling hook for us. That's unfortunate. Damn, that sucks. Widow definitely had our number on that counter card. Okay, we'll do our best. We'll hold on here. Cosmo's not bad. We definitely want to get Cosmo on the table, not only for a panic block, but just to control the top of the deck. 1 boost icon is totally acceptable, so I don't think we have to get rid of that this turn. Cosmo has to be just like straight 2 cards. I don't know if we spend 2 cards to get rid of Grappling Hook. Maybe we just play one of our 0 cost leading blow cards because we haven't drawn those yet. Oh, we drew 1. And so that's a really cheap way to get rid of Grappling Hook. Oh, we'll still be stunned though. So if we play 2 for Cosmo like that, then we can do team building exercise for that, or we can just play team building and Falcon's Flock for Bird of Prey, and then we can still play Aerial Evacuation. And this will deal 4 damage. Oh, that will get rid of the stun. Yeah, I think we'll just clear both of these. It's not a great turn, that's for sure. That's fine. It doesn't waste cards. So we'll play 1, 2 for Cosmo. Comes into play. Our favorite dog here comes in with 2 health, thwarts for 1, attacks for 1. We know we're going to be attacked for 3 here. We don't have to use Cosmo's ability if we don't want to. So Cosmo will just... Oh, we actually could have blocked with Battlefield Awareness. I keep forgetting about that. And we can use this during the defense step. And it might have been correct. We didn't know what the top of the deck was, but it would just ensure that we take less damage. I thought we were going to ready ourselves and use this during the hero phase. So it wasn't the best call, but we have to watch out that in a pinch, we can use this for any basic power. So Cosmo will thwart for 1 off of this. I guess Cosmo actually takes 1. I think 1 boost icon is probably acceptable. We see more boost icons. We can't really control it because, oh no, we can because we're going to play an aerial card. So actually we'll use Cosmo's text. We're going to name minion. We reveal a minion. So Cosmo takes no consequential. The next card we reveal is 2 boost icons. It's Covert Ops. So this is one of the cards where the villain schemes. So it's good that we know what that is. But the problem is, of course, that is a 2 boost on the top of the deck. Team building. Falcon's Flock for Bird of Prey. We just get rid of the stun. It's just an attack. It doesn't do anything. And then we'll do Falcon's Flock to play Aerial Evacuation. So we can just block with Cosmo here and we might consider doing that. And now we played an aerial card. So we can use Falcon's ability to discard the covert ops, but at the end of the day, if we're going to go use aerial evacuation, we don't care if Cosmo's attacked for 4 because Cosmo won't take any damage. So I think here we'll just pass. Drop to 5, Ever Vigilant, love it. Snowguard, okay, that's our first big blocking ally. Leading Blow, the 0 cost to deal with Grappling Hook could be good. We have a Vibranium. I think the best card here would be Soup Kitchen because we're going to flip down. Yo, that's sick. Okay, that's fantastic. Soup Kitchen is like credit neutral or card neutral, excuse me, on the turn you play it. So you play 2 for Soup Kitchen, then we play those 2 into the Snowguard because it reduces the cost of the next ally. So that's kind of perfect. And then we'll get Snowguard on the table and start blocking. I think we have 2 covert ops left in our deck, so we'll have that engine set up. We've only drew 1 in our opening hand. All right, this goes up to 4. Black Widow's attacking for 4. We'll unfortunately block with Cosmo, but aerial evacuation will kick in here. It says, when another friendly character would be dealt any amount of damage, discard this, prevent all of that damage, change to alter ego. So we can't be attacked again. And that means Cosmo takes no damage. Our 1 encounter card here, hoping not for an advance. It's a nabbed. Oh, that's not good. We lose Cosmo. If Abduct Superhuman is not in play, find it and put it into play. I don't think we've seen that so far. Oh no, we did earlier that turn. So we don't reveal it. We put it into play. So Abduct Superhuman. It has Surge, but again, we put it into play so we don't do the Surge. This card unfortunately grabs our allies. It says Surge. We don't do that. When an ally leaves play, tuck it underneath here and place threat equal to its cost. So luckily Cosmo's only 2 cost. Then place an acceleration token here. Obviously that's not good. It only comes in with 2 threat to start. And when defeated, put each ally tucked here into play under its owner's control. So at least we can get Cosmo back and Cosmo will be ready. The rest of Nab though says, discard cards from the top of your deck. Oh no, this is going to grab like Snowguard, or this is going to grab maybe Rockslide that has 4. Oh, Victor. That's perfect. That's our cheapest ally. Red Wing would have been bad too. Tuck it under Abduct Superhumans so we can get a cheap Victor. Mind you, Victor comes in for 2 and can't do anything besides block. Place threat equal to the ally's cost and 1 acceleration. So it does the text on it. It just forces the text. So we have acceleration over here. We have to deal with that. That's it. Not that bad. Okay, it's back to us. I think we're just going to do the Soup Kitchen thing and recover and get back into the fight. So Soup Kitchen will play for 1. It doesn't really matter what card we play for it because we're going to be dumping our whole hand. So we'll play Soup Kitchen. We'll exhaust ourselves and Soup Kitchen to recover 3. And then the next ally or support reduces its cost by 2. So none of these are aerial cards. So we'll place Snowguard without having to flip up. Wait, do we actually have to get rid of Abduct Superhumans? Maybe we do. Wait, do we actually Snowguard this round? I should have considered this. It was so easy to play Soup Kitchen. But what if we have to Ever Vigilant Abduct Superhumans and not play Soup Kitchen and hold on to Snowguard? Huh. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is bad because it'll go up to 5, 6, 7. And so if we get an advance, we're cooked. That's very hard for us not to be cooked. The issue is like playing events is really difficult. So I think we just have to hold. So yeah, I think we'll just play Snowguard here. We don't use team building or Falcon's Flock, but that's okay. So Snowguard, she comes in. We're going to put 3 shift counters on her. I'm not going to actually show the shift counters, but we have 8 health here. Yeah, massive. And she can block really well. And she has Retaliate. So that's her job, is to be between us and Black Widow. From this spot here, we're on 7 health. So we'll flip up. We see the top card of the deck. Low boosts. 1 boost is perfect. And then we will pass. We need to clear this next round. Hopefully we do. We can't do anything with Snowguard. Actually, that's not true. We can attack with Snowguard because Snowguard attacks for 0. It will fire the text on Black Widow. So a couple things will happen. We'll remove a threat and we'll discard the top card of the deck, which is a stun net. So we have to deliver ourselves the stun net, which has a boost icon. And it says attached character cannot attack, exhaust a character you control, which can't be that hard to discard this. So it basically does 1 threat, but that's all it does. I don't think that's super important. So we'll leave that there and we'll just be attacked for 3. All right, we'll ready up. We're looking for our, I think we have another copy of Bird's Eye View, which is our thwart card. So we've seen 2 Bird of Praise and none of our thwart cards. So that should be easy, as much as we have to watch out for Grappling Hook. So Power Protection, Leading Blow. Okay. Ops Room, that's really great. That's an easy combo. We have the Bird's Eye View there. Again, there was 2 in the deck. We have a Genius. So a lot of resources. We can dump this whole hand if we want to. We just have to watch out for the Grappling Hook that eats our first event. This goes to 6. Black Widow's attacking. We know for 3, we'll block with Snowguard. We take 3 damage and she returns Retaliate 1. So going down to 13. Next card, our encounter card is, oh, that's not good. That's never good. Shadow of the Past. Reveal your set aside nemesis, then the sides game, then shuffle the rest into the deck. So you have a lot of control to not draw Shadow of the Past, especially because you see it on the top of the deck, you know where it is. But unfortunately, we're going to have to fight Viper, who has some quick strike, and we have a lot of stuff to deal with. That's Viper. Viper comes in first for 5 with quick strike. After Viper activates, discard the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. So those are just random cards. We, in theory, could draw their fire this turn. That's the only attack we're going to get. Draw their fire is really good if you're playing standard 3 and you have a quick strike nemesis. But this basically just heals 2 damage, or we can just take 2 damage. How do we deal with Viper? I think we're going to need a good attack into Viper. with battlefield awareness, because 5 is a lot. The text on Abduct Superhuman says when an ally leaves play. Okay. So we have to watch out for that as well, of course. I don't think we use Draw Their Fire. I think we just take 2 here. So we'll go down to 5. And it says after Viper activates, discard the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. So we lose 0 boost, a 3 boost under fire, a 1 boost, 3 boost, and a 1 boost. Okay. Some of the 3 boosters were unfortunate to lose that. Then we put our Nemesis side scheme into play. It's Serpent Solutions, comes in with a massive 6 threat. Now it doesn't have the worst text on it. It says force response after a Serpent Society minion is discarded from the top of the encounter deck. And while Viper can do that randomly, we largely will see the top of the deck. So sometimes it stops us from interacting with our ability to clear the top of the deck or discard it with the battlefield awareness. And now we shuffle in 2 more Serpent Solution quick strike minions into the deck. All right. Otherwise, this doesn't have an acceleration or a crisis, so we can consider ignoring it. Master Plan will put more threat on it if it does show up. I don't think we've seen that so far. I might be wrong. And then it's back to us. We'll see the top card of the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I forgot this acceleration. I think this should go up 1 more. And it's back to us. Top of the deck is an Attack Acrobatics. That's a massive 3 boost. That's kind of perfect because we can one-shot Viper. Okay. Back to us. We have work to do. That's for sure. Bird's Eye View will remove threat. We need to bring this down. We can bring back Victor Mancha. Not the most important, but this can sets up relatively well. So I think we'll start with Falcon. So we'll attack with Falcon. Again, we can't play an event because they'll get canceled. So actually we will play an event. Yeah, just get rid of it. So we'll play Leading Blow and we'll do Battlefield Awareness. So firstly, attacking for 2. We'll play Leading Blow, which in theory would discard this top card of the deck to ready us. I don't think we care about that because now the Grappling Hook will fire. This says when a player plays an event card, cancels effect, then discard this. So we get rid of this. That's fine. So no Leading Blow. But then we'll do Battlefield Awareness. And so we'll discard the top card of the deck. It has 3 boost icons. So we attack for 5 into Viper, defeating Viper. We reveal the next card from the top of the deck. It is 1 boost. It's Advertisement. This is the one that shuffles all the snakes back into the deck. Really, really fun theme on this one. So that is just 1 boost. Not the best thing we can interact with. Here we need to bring this down because this will add 3 next round and we will lose the game to that. So that's not good. So I think we just dump our hand. We'll play Ops Room. This comes in with 3 counters. Again, now if we block with Snowguard or eventually Victor Mancha, we can reduce that damage and do threat work. We have 1 more in the deck. We'll then just play Bird's Eye View first, or do we want a Cosmo to find a bigger boost? I think we want a Cosmo for a bigger boost. So Cosmo can just attack for 1 into Black Widow. So Widow takes 1, and then we have to discard 1 threat and the top card of the deck. So down to 6, and this has no preparation, so it doesn't do anything. Next card is Gang Up. That has 1 boost, so still not the best. That means we can maybe get rid of it. We'll play Bird's Eye View. We'll target the main scheme. So that will do 3 threat. So this goes down to 3. And then we can choose to discard the top card to do 1 more threat, or we can just make sure that Black Widow is only attacking for 3, which Snowguard appreciates that. So I think we'll leave that there. And then we'll pass. We'll ready up. We didn't use our team building exercise that turn, but it's okay. We played our whole hand and we'll draw back up to 5. Up, and away, we could consider playing that. But unfortunately, if you play this card, because this is a defense traded event, it makes us the defender. So we can still play it and then fire like Draw Their Fire and fire Ops Room, but we can no longer block with allies if we play this. Or that copy either. Another Bird's Eye View, that's a threat card. We have another Ops Room that's perfect. And then we have a Power of Flight. So we can play the entirety of this hand, or at least the playable part of this hand. This goes up to 6 because of the acceleration. We definitely need to deal with that. We know Black Widow's attacking for 3. So here, I think with Ops Room and Draw Their Fire, we actually probably play an up, and away because it at least replaces itself and that goes deeper into our deck. Our deck has a Rockslide, it has a Red Wing. I'm not sure what else is left in the deck, but I definitely need to go deeper into the deck. So I think we do play this. Then we'll block with Draw Their Fire, which will get into the discard pile, which is perfect. And we won't end up taking any damage because of Ops Room. And Snowguard technically will be ready, which means Snowguard can do 1 threat by attacking Black Widow, which is weird. So after an attacking enemy is given a face down boost card, look at the top card of the deck. This has 2 boost icons. And so we can decide we'll be taking Dance of Death as an encounter card unless we replace it with Gang Up. But then Gang Up will be our encounter card. Dance of Death is really quite bad because it does 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage. So we can do 1 to Cosmo, 2 to us, 3 to Snowguard. That's not great. So I think we are going to do the swap here. Oh, I need to do this here, I think. When do we fire Draw Their Fire? It says after the villain phase begins. Oh, awkward. So we had to decide to do that right away. So we could not have seen the Dance of Death yet. So I think we're going to do this. I just missed the trigger, but importantly, we have to decide this sooner than we saw this extra boost card, but we're going to commit to it anyways. And so now we're not going to exhaust to defend, which means actually into the Gang Up, that's kind of perfect. So that's a really good turn to do this. So we definitely needed to do that earlier. Now we've seen 2 icons on this with up, and away, which means we draw 2 cards. So we'll draw 1. It's a med team. That's not bad. And then we draw a Rockslide. So we knew that was coming. That means our hand is a bit easier to play. I'll then play the second up, and away. So it says after an attacking enemy is given a face down boost card, we actually could consider not playing that and using it on the second attack. The second attack, we probably want to keep that. This will draw 2 cards at a minimum. I think that's okay. Looking at our hand here, I don't know if we need, yeah, 1 more card would be nice, but I think we'll keep this for the second attack just in case. So that means Black Widow is now attacking for 4. We're blocking for 2 without exhausting, and then Ops Room will kick in here. So we'll reduce 1 of the damage and we'll take a threat. So this go to 2, this go to 5, and we'll just take 1 damage going down to 4. Next, we reveal our encounter card, which is Gang Up, classic standard card that says the villain and all minions engage with you attack. So Black Widow is once again attacking for 2. We'll play the next Up and Away. Again, we don't have to block for this at all. So we see this boost card, which has 2 boost icons, and this card, which has 2 boost icons. So not making a real choice here. So reveal exhaustion, draw 2. So we get a power protection. That's perfect. We'll get Red Wing. That's perfect. Our last card is strength. Okay, good to know. And so now Black Widow is attacking for 4. We're blocking for 2 without exhausting and Ops Room. So that does 1 here, 1 here. And so we take just 1 more damage. That's actually pretty sick. Not bad. We're on 3. So we're going to have to jump down and exhaust or recover at some point. And then it's back to us. We know the top of the deck has 2 boost icons. Pretty cool turn there. Actually quite a cool turn. So what do we do with this hand? Our third ally slot probably is not going to be Rockslide, but it's probably going to be Red Wing because we play Red Wing really well. We get Falcon's Flock back into the bin before we cycle, which is okay. Then with this hand, I think we probably end up playing Bird's Eye View for some threats. We know the top card of the deck here will not be our boost card. It'll be our encounter card. And Black Widow's Gauntlets is not that bad. It just gives Retaliate 1 and +1 attack. So we can consider jumping down here. It's slightly risky, especially with this Abduct Superhumans. So maybe we clear that. I think we're going to have to. Yeah, we have to watch out because when we do deck out, that will be not a boost card. It will be our encounter card. So 4th threat we can clear. We can Bird's Eye View it. I think we do. I think we just Bird's Eye View right off the top. We can jump down and play Red Wing cheaply as well and recover with Soup Kitchen. We also can play Med Team cheaply, which might be a bit better. Or of course, Ops Room. I think Med Teaming Snowguard or ourselves might make some sense here. So I'll just start here and play Bird's Eye View. So this removes 3 threat. We'll try and clear this. It goes down to 1. Then you may discard the top card of the deck. It has 2 icons, so we clear Abduct Superhumans. When this is cleared, we get Victor Mancha under our control, I'm pretty sure. This is put each ally tucked here under its owner's control. Unfortunately, Victor Mancha is not doing that much for us here. Victor has 4 health and takes less damage for blocking. That works really well with Ops Room as well, but comes in with 4 health. Now all our ally slots are full, so we might not play Red Wing. Now we have 2 triggers here. Firstly, we see the top card of the deck, which is a star. This is Serpent Soldier. So this is good to jump down because this will be an encounter card. And this says give the activating an additional boost card. So we won't care about that. And the quick strike won't fire because we're an alter ego. So I'm okay leaving that on the top of the deck. Now, what else are we playing here? Cosmo can thwart for 1. That's okay. We can just throw out Red Wing, unfortunately. I think we do actually play Med Team and just work on ourselves a bit. And then we play Ops Room. So this will be 1, 2, 3 for Med Team. Soup Kitchen plays Ops Room. And then we'll hold on to Red Wing for next turn, as much as our ally slots will be full. A bit awkward, but not the worst. We need to do some threat though. We definitely need to do some threat work here. So maybe we just waste Victor Mancha and replace Victor Mancha, or maybe we just replace Cosmo. Having 2 blockers is not the most important. Like 1 blocker is good enough. So this Victor Mancha is not doing much for us. But yeah, this will go up to 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 2 boost icons potentially. We can't discard this from the top of the deck. Well, we don't want to because Serpent Solutions will kick in. And then I think we like draw it. What happens when you discard a Serpent Society? Draw it as an encounter card. So yeah, we don't want to do that. So not a great turn to jump down unless we do a lot of threat work. So I think we don't use this Soup Kitchen. I think we have to thwart for 2, and then we'll thwart for 1 with Cosmo, and then just hope. With Red Wing, we can thwart for 1 more, and then yeah, just hope. So unfortunately, no Soup Kitchen. We'll thwart for 1, 2, bringing us down. Cosmo will thwart for 1. We won't use Cosmo's ability. We'll just drop this to 1. I think we'll replace Cosmo here because Cosmo is super replaceable, unfortunately. I think we do play the Ops Room. Maybe we don't hop down, actually. Yeah, maybe we don't hop down. And then with this hand, we can either play Red Wing. We can't play the Med Team. We can't play Rockslide. So we could just play Red Wing, which will do a threat. And then we could consider jumping down. We'll get 2 boost cards. That's kind of scary. But Serpent Soldier won't strike us, which is not bad. So we're going to take a risk here, I think. But I do think we're going to hop down. But we can't use the Soup Kitchen, unfortunately. So we will. Is Ops Room better than Med Team? I think we have 2 blockers, so we don't need the Med Team anymore. So I think we will do Power Protection for another Ops Room. It's good again. I'm going to stack them slightly. So 1 has 1, 1 has 3. Just take up a bit less table space. Then I think we'll keep Falcon's Flock. I don't think we need to hold on to any of these cards, so we don't have to use either of those. We can use Team Building, but we'll just play Red Wing, replacing Cosmo. This is an aerial, so we could discard the top card of the deck, but of course we don't want to because there's a snake on top. Red Wing will thwart for 1. If we attack Black Widow, we have to discard this. And again, same problem. Very weird interaction between Black Widow and the Serpent Society. And then I think we do actually properly flip down. And then we'll pass. Will we hold on to any of these cards? We could get Falcon's Flock back into the deck. That's not super important. We definitely don't need Rockslide. We could hold on to Med Team because Med Team with Soup Kitchen is relatively good because that functionally heals for like 5. Yeah, we'll hold on to that. And we'll just drop back up. 1, 2, it's a strength. Serpent Society becomes our boost card. So we no longer know, or it becomes our encounter card. We no longer know the boost. We shuffle and draw 4 more cards. We would love to start doing the damage. We're definitely set up. We've been lacking on damage, but now with our blockers, we basically can just send send Falcon into attacking every turn, especially with battlefield awareness, and we're totally protected against attacks. All right, we have 4 more cards here because we're in alter ego. We get Ops Room, nice. Power Protection, perfect. Ever Vigilant, what a green hand. And a Rockslide. Okay, so we probably don't play Rockslide because we're pretty set up with enough allies, but that's not bad at all. This goes to 2. Black Widow schemes for 2 and an unknown card. It is no boost, it's an advance. That's perfect. This goes to 4. We draw 2 encounter cards. The first one is, of course, a Serpent Soldier. This thing has 3 health, has Quick Strike, but in Alter Ego, Quick Strike doesn't fire. Next card, Master Plan. That's not that bad. This is a card that you have to play around. And sometimes if you have a scheme that we're just not going to deal with, we'll leave it around on the table. So place 4 threat on each side scheme. So this is the only side scheme. So this goes to 10. Again, Serpent Solution means that discarding Serpent cards from the top of the deck is like a non-starter, which does not help us, but it's not the worst thing. If that had like an acceleration or a hazard, obviously that's a lot worse, or a crisis. Okay, it's back to us. Back to us. We have a ready, so I think we do Soup Kitchen. We'll ready ourselves and then use Battlefield Awareness. So we will use the Soup Kitchen, exhaust ourselves to recover. So we go up to 6. And then our next support or ally, which it will be support, comes in cheaper. So we'll put in our 3rd Ops Room here for free. Again, massive stacks. So it's 3, 3, 1. So anybody who blocks is basically not going to be taking any damage for the next little while. Before we play more cards, we'll flip up. We see the top card of the deck. We're looking for a 2 boost. That's a 2 boost on Harlem Protector. That's our obligation. We have to deal with the Serpent Soldier. So Red Wing can do 2 damage. We can do 2 threat. We're going to ignore this for sure. And then that's okay. So we could ready ourselves and attack for 4 into Serpent Soldier. That's also okay. But I think we just replay Red Wing and deal with it. So we'll use Red Wing's ability, return our bird friend to our hand, and discard the top of the deck, which has 2 boosts, and we'll do 2 damage to the Serpent Soldier. In fact, with 2 blockers, we might just leave the Serpent Soldier around, block with Mancha and block with Snowguard, but that's okay. Revealing 3 boost icons, which is perfect. It has no preparation. That means we can attack for 5 into Black Widow, or we can threat for 5. But I think we won't threat for 5 because we have Ever Vigilant. So 3 on the top is perfect. We'll do Power Protection to Ever Vigilant. Readies us. We'll remove 2 threat here. That's enough threat work. We're ready. Oh, we need to get this down to 0 though. Otherwise we will discard this and then Battlefield Awareness doesn't do anything. That's ugly. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's not a great interaction. If that's the case, we should have removed 2 from this, maybe with Vigilant. Because if we remove 2 from this, when Falcon thwarts for 4, we'll get that down. So like, I don't think we're going to clear this, but it's whatever. And then we'll leave this on 4. Because now Falcon's going to thwart for 2 and we'll Battlefield Awareness to discard this. So that'll do 5. And that will take 5 off of this. There's a chance the 3 boost on top is fine because then we can attack with our friend Red Wing into Black Widow to do 3 damage. And this now has a 2 boost. Okay, we will now do Team Building plus Falcon's Flock, clearing that out to play Red Wing again. And we know that Red Wing can do 2 damage, 2 thwart, or 1 or 1. I think we're just going to attack for 1 to defeat our Serpent Soldier. Board is totally clear here. And so now we'll do double plus Rockslide for Med Team. Med Team comes in with 3 counters, being exhausted to heal 2 from a friendly. So I think we will. We'll start by healing 2 to Snowguard and just keep Snowguard in play. This Victor is probably going to be replaced sooner than later. I think we do want a Cosmo in there. Again, Cannonball, we did replace it with Cosmo. Cannonball is just a bunch more damage, which we appreciate. And then that's it. We'll pass. We're just looking for damage cards because we can send it. We just need to always keep this down because, again, otherwise Battlefield Awareness gets a bit awkward. Aerial Recon, perfect card. Draw Their Fire is great too, especially with all these ops rooms. Bird of Prey is our damage card. Aerial Evacuation, super cheap to play. And a Bird's Eye View. So a handful of only aerial cards. Unfortunately, we're out of our Falcon's Flock unless we want to jump down, but we can work with this. This goes up to 2. We know we're being attacked here for 4 cards. We could have discarded the top card of the deck when we played Red Wing. That might have been worth something, but I don't think we mind so much. So either we block with Snowguard or Victor. I think we're going to get our Victor value. So we'll block with Victor. And so this damage is reduced from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 3. And then because we're taking 3 damage, we'll do Ops Room, Ops Room, Ops Room, which is kind of perfect. We actually could take 1 damage and keep 1 Ops Room around. So I will do that. So again, we're being attacked for 1, 2, 3, 4. Victor's text reduces the damage by 1, so that we're only taking 3 damage. We'll reduce the damage by 1 with 1 Ops Room, defeating it. This brings it down to 1 because we want to keep this down. The next Ops Room will fire. reducing the damage by one more, removing all of this. And then I think we'll keep the third ops room around and we won't use it. So Victor takes 1 damage. So going from 4, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, down to 3. Why did I want to not use this? Because I don't care about Serpent Solutions and we can keep these for other activations. If we keep this down, that means we can just send full damage with Falcon into Black Widow. Our card is advanced. Okay, not great, but good to know where these are. Villain schemes. So she schemes for 2 in a card, 3 boost icons. Bummer. That goes up to 5. But it's back to us. And there's a lot we can do here. See the top card of the deck. Big boosts. It's just a 1 boost. So we can work with that. It has no preparation. So if we attack, we discard that. And I think that's okay. We have no ready on ourselves though. So I think we can just attack with Snowguard, funny enough. So Snowguard will attack. Again, Snowguard attacks for 0, but the text on Black Widow does not care if she takes damage. So when your character control attacks Black Widow, remove a threat, discard the top card of the deck. It has no preparation text. Revealing hopefully more boost icons. 0 boost icons. Okay, not more, but less. That's not good. So I guess we play aerial cards just to discard the top of the deck. Or actually, no, we should just attack. So Falcon's going to attack for 2. And then we do Black Widow's text again. So we discard this, removing 1 threat. And then we see the next card and we can decide. It also has no boost icons. That's a bummer because I wanted to Battlefield Awareness. So I think we still do just to find bigger boost icons. So we'll Battlefield Awareness to discard this because we need to see deeper. And so we do only 2 damage. Villain goes down to 10. We reveal 1 boost icon. Okay. From here, we'll bounce Red Wing to our hand. We'll probably replay Red Wing here. I don't think we need to draw their fire. Aerial evacuation is also not necessary. So we want to play these 2 cards. I think we'll start with team building. Oh, we could consider grabbing some of those cards with aerial recon. I think that's actually probably worth doing, but we'll play Bird's Eye View. So this just removes 3 threat. Not a bird card, despite the name. So we'll remove 3 threat from here and we'll choose to discard the top card of the deck to remove 1 more threat. We're just looking for bigger boost icons like this one, which has 2. There might have been a better order on that turn, but we were just getting a bit unlucky. So we are punished by the order. There probably was a more consistent ordering there. Okay, so now with this hand, we can't play all of it. Oh, med team should be ready. So yeah, kind of awkward actually. We know Black Widow's going to scheme for 4 if we hop down. So we could have left a low boost and hop down to go grab back our Falcon's Flock, which is a pretty good card, it turns out. So I think we'll just keep aerial recon. I think we just do damage though. Yeah, let's just send the damage. So we'll spend 2 for Bird of Prey. We're pretty set up so that when we advance, we should be relatively well set up to do with a 3 per turn. So this does 4 damage and we'll discard the top card of the deck. So it does 6 damage. Villain's down on 4. We reveal a boost icon, which gives us Serpent Soldier. We can't discard that. We don't want to discard that because of the Serpent Solution. And we'll just hold on to Red Wing. All right, we'll pass. Drawing up to 5, we get Cosmos back. We have Leading Blow, which we haven't played yet. A Power Flight, which is perfect for Red Wing, and an Ever Vigilant. So a great hand, pretty well balanced. This goes up to 2. We know Black Widow is attacking for 2 because we know the top card of the deck. I think we're going to block with Victor because Snowguard can deal with the Retaliate. So Victor will block. So that's 2 damage. We reduce the damage by 1. We'll reduce the damage by 1 more. So Victor takes no damage and we remove 1 threat. We can't actually reduce any more because Ops Room is only if you actually take the damage, and Victor there was taking only 1 damage. Now Serpent Soldier says, give the active enemy additional boost card. Oh, never mind. So we don't deal this to ourselves. So glad I checked. So that's 1, 2 plus this boost card, which is 3. So we actually can use the second Ops Room to reduce all the damage, which clears this entirely. Sometimes you don't want to clear that entirely because you can control the top of the deck, but we are now bottoming out. Aim Grunt, but we get an acceleration icon. So at least all the big boosts are back in the deck. Aim Grunt just has guard, 5 health. So we can hopefully deal with that because guard is not great. That functionally heals 5 from Black Widow. Notably, the damage by returning Red Wing is not an attack, so we can ignore guard, but we definitely need to work on this guard. We get a big boost icon. We can just do attack for 2 plus 3 if we get something nice with Battlefield Awareness. All right, we have to start sending it full send. We are pretty protected again. I think the activations off of the villain aren't going to do anything. That's where aerial recon gets really good because then you're not stressed about the encounter cards and you're just worried about the attacks, and the attacks do not stress us in this deck. Top of the deck is 3 boost icons. That is absolutely perfect. It's an attack acrobatics. So I think we're going to start full sending at Falcon. Going to attack for 2. Battlefield Awareness discards the top of the deck. That's 3 boost icons. So we do 5 damage. The Aim Grunt is defeated. Next card, 1 boost. It's the advertisement. Okay. So it has Surge. We don't want to draw it, but we are in control of this. We could attack with Snowguard to remove the 1 threat that we could have left there with the Ops Room. That might have been correct, but that's another way to interact with the top of the deck. I think we'll just ready and start ripping through. So yeah, I think we just play Red Wing. We play Power Flight. So we'll play Ever Vigilant for 2. So remove 2 threat. So we'll just deal with this because we can, and we're ready. We played an aerial card, so we can use Falcon just to find some better boost icons. So we'll discard the advertisement and reveal no boost. So we could just leave that so we don't get a good attack. That's a bit unfortunate with Red Wing, but hey, we're here. Why not? We'll attack with Falcon and we'll play Leading Blow just for some cheap damage. So when we attack, we discard the top card of the encounter deck and reduce our attack by 0 because there's no boost icons on that. So we do 2 damage to Black Widow. And because we did damage, we ready ourselves. We see the next card, which is a 3 boost. That's perfect for Red Wing. That's why we play that card. Then we'll do team building and Cosmo for Red Wing. Looks like we're going to be bouncing Red Wing. If we had one more research generator, we could bounce a couple times. Red Wing is so good. And now we can just discard this to do 3 damage to Black Widow. So I think we do. We'll return Red Wing back to our hand. Discard the night vision goggles. And that does 3 damage to Black Widow, defeating Black Widow, at least Black Widow 2. And now we go to Black Widow 3. I think this might add threat, which is perfect. So we can use Snowguard. So Black Widow 3 now comes in with 20 health. When revealed, place 3 threat on the main scheme. And the biggest thing we have to watch out is the Widow's Web now. It has an acceleration icon. Plus, we're on stage 3. So we're going to be adding 4 threat around at this point, which is a lot of threat. Otherwise, it's the same text with preparation discarding off the top of the deck. The top of the deck has no boost icons. So we could just discard that to do some threat work. So we'll attack with Snowguard, which does no damage, but drops us down to 2. We discard the top card of the deck. Next card has the Serpent Soldier, so double boost. Not scared of that at all. We can attack for 2 more, discarding the Serpent, but discarding the Serpent is bad because it shuffles it back in. So we don't actually want to attack Black Widow. I think we just thwart for 2. So we'll thwart for 2. Just 20 damage. I think it'll take us at least 2 turns. We'll drop. We'll hold on to Red Wing, who's the best. We have the Vibranium Microwave, not a great card in this build. Bird of Prey is our damage card, so that can do up to 7. We have a Genius, and our last card is a Talon Line, which we actually could go for the stun, but it's not incredibly important. If we see like an encounter card we don't mind, we can just lock it to the top of the deck. But this goes up to 4. Black Widow's attacking for 2, and we know Serpent Soldier just says get another boost card. So attacking for 2 in a card. Well, I think we still just block with Victor Mancha here. So we're taking 1-2 damage. Boost card is 3-4. It's Viper. So that is, I think every single Serpent Soldier is out of the deck. No, there's one more. So Serpent Solution still has text. Or we're being attacked here for 4 damage. Victor makes it 3 damage. We'll make it 2 damage. We'll make it 1 damage. We fired 2 copies of Ops Room. So we can take 2 threat off of this and Victor goes down to 2. We might actually want to be blocking with Snowguard because the Retaliate is a bit better for us. It probably is actually in hindsight, but I've decided to use Victor. We could be attacking with Victor. Oh, the Snowguard should be taking consequential from attacking. I have been forgetting that. I think we only forgot it once, maybe twice. So we'll do that. But yeah, we do still take consequential for attacking for 0. Counter card, last one. Serpent Soldier has Quick Strike. So this is kind of perfect. We can just take the damage if we want to, but I think we'll just block with Snowguard. So Snowguard does something. So taking for 2, we'll block with Snowguard. So we take 2 damage. One of them will reduce with Ops Room, which removes 1 threat from this. And then we just take 1 damage. Retaliate does 1 more. All right. We worked through 3 full Ops Rooms, which feels pretty good. We now reveal the top card of the deck. It's a Stun Net that will attach to us, which isn't great. Yeah, we just can't attack with this one, but we can exhaust a character. Unfortunately, we're all exhausted besides ourselves to deal with it. All right, if that's the case, Serpent Soldier, we can get rid of it. We need to do 1 more threat from the Widow's Web, unfortunately. Otherwise, we get stun netted. We can discard it by playing Red Wing. That might be the play. What do we want to do here? We definitely want to play Bird of Prey. Then I think we play team building into Red Wing, and then we just hold a card awkwardly. We want to find a big icon on the top, though. So we can try and use all our abilities to discard the top card of the deck to make it not a preparation. If that's the case, we can attack into the Serpent Soldier. Without the Ops Rooms, it's doing a bit more. I think first I'll just heal and put Snowguard back up to 6. Okay, that's good. I think we can ignore the Serpent Soldier. We just want to do Black Widow damage because we don't want to stay here for as short as possible, right? Because that's a lot of threat a turn. So we could discard this to do 1 damage, or we can just play an aerial card, so we will. We'll do team building exercise. We'll throw out Vibranium. We'll play Red Wing. You know, our bird friend. Should count how many times we play Red Wing in a single game. It's always pretty wild. And we played an aerial card, so we can use Falcon's ability to discard the top card of the deck. So Stun Net is discarded. We're looking for high boost, no preparation. Okay, we got low boost, no preparation. We can work with that. Now we're going to just attack with Falcon. We have to do Black Widow's text first, which discards this card and removes the threat. Has no preparation text, so that's fine. And then we reveal the next card. It's only 1 boost. That's good enough. We'll Battlefield Awareness that. So we technically attack for 3 damage. The villain goes down to 17. This has only 1 boost. It's an aim and commando. Next card. So Red Wing doesn't have that much to do. We in theory could Red Wing the Serpent Soldier for 1. So Serpent Soldier is defeated by Snowguard's Retaliate. That's probably worth something. But we definitely want a bigger boost off the top there. We really do, because we have the Bird of Prey. I think we'll just still send it. So we'll play 1-2 for Bird of Prey. Targeting Black Widow. So we're going to be attacking by 4. Attacking for 4, discarding that. We do 5 damage. Black Widow's down to 12. Next card has 2 boost icons, so that's a bit worse for us. We can return Red Wing to our hand. We can't play Red Wing, but that does 2 more damage, which we probably just need all the damage we can get. So we will return Red Wing. Actually, no, we'll just attack to the Serpent Soldier. dropping it to 1. And we'll bounce Red Wing next turn, I think. I don't think we hold on to the Talon line. I want to check how many Bird of Preys we've played because that's our big damage card. We played both of them, so not sure what's in the rest of our deck. I think there's like a couple leading blows maybe, which that could line up relatively well. Yeah, I think Ever Vigilance, we've seen most of them. I think we've seen 2 of 3. We have not that much damage left in the deck, so we're going to count on Red Wing. We'll discard this. And we're ready. Drop to 5. Quinn Carriers left in the deck. Up and away is fun, as much as we don't want to defend. Energy. There's the last Ever Vigilant, which we like. That can be a lot of work, and a second up and away. So a bit of an awkward hand. Without the Ops Room, I'm not as excited to block, so we're probably not going to play it. We know the top card has 2 boost icons, which is kind of interesting, but this goes up to 4. And Black Widow's attacking for what we know to be 4 damage. We might just defeat Victor Mancha. Probably enough for Victor there. So yeah, if we up and away, we can be attacked by 4. We can block to make that. I don't think we want to block. I think we just want to do damage. So that's Victor's job. So we'll block with Victor, being attacked for 4. Victor reduces that damage to 3, but is still defeated. Now, of course, the Serpent Soldier attacks for 2. We'll block with Snowguard, so Snowguard takes 2, but Retaliate finishes off the Soldier. We draw a single encounter card here. It's Widow's Bite. This just stuns us, I think. Does 1 damage. So you are stunned and take 1 damage. I need to remember about the stun. I have a habit of forgetting that, which is not great. So we'll put that there. And now our attacking is a bit more difficult. Back to us. Top card of the deck. Big boosts. 0 boosts. It's an advance. Okay, that's not a preparation. So we attack to Black Widow. We can go find better cards. Issue is we can't really attack that easily. So I think we have to just do like a botched attack to get rid of the stun. So we'll attack. Stun kicks in. Then here we'll play. Do we play the Quinn Carrier? We can do this for the Quinn Carrier. Yeah, that's fine. It's obviously pretty late, but there's no better way to use our hand here. So we're going to do team building exercise to generate for an Avenger card. Then we'll play energy to play the Quinn Carrier. Again, you'd like to not have this on the second last turn of what I'm assuming the game is going to be, but it's fine. It uses our hand. Then we'll do Quinn Carrier plus an up and away to play Ever Vigilant. Remove 2 threat. Ready ourselves. So we are ready. And now we're going to attack straight into Black Widow. So we're attacking for 2. Black Widow's text discards the top card of the deck, removes a threat, has no preparation text. And we'll see the next card. It perfectly has 3 boost. So then we'll do Battlefield Awareness. So we'll discard that. And then we'll do an attack for 5 damage. So Black Widow's down to 7. The next card, it's a nab. It has 1 boost on it. So we're okay taking that. We can return Red Wing to our hand. Actually, maybe we shouldn't have played Quinn Carrier because now Red Wing gets a bit harder to use. With 7 damage left, I don't think it's necessary that we heal Snowguard, but I don't think it's necessary we heal ourselves either. So it's one of the 2. Rockslide's already in the bin. We're going to be decking out not this turn, but the next. There's 7 cards, I think, left. More than 5. So Snowguard, she's our last ally. So I guess we will heal her. So we'll med team. Heals 2 to a friendly. So Snowguard goes back up to 6 with the Retaliate. And I don't think we'll hold on to this because we don't want to block. We won't use Red Wing, unfortunately. We could just return Red Wing to our hand, but that's a 1 boost, so it's fine. If it was a 3 boost, we would have done it for sure. All right, draw up. Render medical aid, unfortunately, might not be worth it. There's the leading blow. Power of Flight. Bird's Eye View is a threat card, and we have a leading blow. So we actually could be attacking up to 3 times if we can control the top of the deck properly. And with Red Wing, we might have some ways to do that. All right, this goes up to 5. Kind of scary. Black Widow schemes for 3. That's a lot. And now Black Widow's attacking for what we know to be 3. We'll block with Snowguard. So Snowguard takes 3, and we'll do Retaliate 1, down to 6, or 1 encounter card, please no. Okay, Caught Off Guard, that's totally fine. So Caught Off Guard just says discard an upgrade or support you control. It's a shame that we didn't get Aerial Recon down. That's obviously really good. And I think at this point, we'll just get rid of the Soup Kitchen. Back to us, top of the deck is not preparation, so that's fine. So we can attack Black Widow here. It only has 1 boost icon, that's Aim Soldier. This is where it gets really tricky, because we can be attacking with Leading Blow, and then hope. We have a lot of agency here, but there's a bit of hope going on that we can do enough damage. I think 7 damage we can probably do with double Leading Blow. We can control the top of the deck, but this is actually kind of perfect. So let's see how much we can do with Leading Blow in this turn. So we'll start by attacking with Falcon. Of course, Black Widow's text interrupts here. So we discard this and remove a threat, but it doesn't have preparation text, so that's fine. We get to see the next card. We're looking either for low boost or big boost. We don't mind either way. It's relatively high boosts. It's Dance of Death. So now we're going to interrupt with Battlefield Awareness. So we'll discard this, so we're attacking for 4. We reveal the next card, which is unfortunately 2 boosts, but then we'll play Leading Blow, which reduces our damage by 2. So here we're attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. So we do 2 damage to Black Widow. We have to discard this as well. Black Widow's down to 5, and we reveal the next card, which is 3 boosts. Oh, it has no preparation text, so that's 3 boosts, so that probably will be Red Wing. That's okay. So we'll return Red Wing to our hand. Oh, we're ready because we did damage. Red Wing goes back to our hand. We would discard the top card of the deck, which does 3 damage. Sorry, that was this card. So we discard this for 3 damage. Down to 2. Top card of the deck has 1 boost. So we can just attack and that does win the game, but we can also do some flashy stuff. We'll attack for 2. We'll play Leading Blow. We discard this so we do only 1 damage. Oh, actually, no. We shouldn't do this because we actually don't know what we're discarding. We should not do that at all. So we're just going to attack for 2. This goes down to 3. We discard it. It's not a preparation. We reveal the next card, which is 1 boost, and we defeat Black Widow. We could have mashed out 1 more Leading Blow if we wanted to, if we saw the top of the deck. But of course, the way that Black Widow works, it's a bit interesting. But that, of course, takes Black Widow down to 0 health. We had a bit more damage there. Quinn Carrier to team building, we could discard. Let's see how quickly before we find some big boosts. So this is a preparation, which makes it a bit tricky. So in theory, if we played Leading Blow, that actually wouldn't have worked out well for us because we discard the Aim Soldier and then attack Acrobatics. If we want to play the Leading Blow, we could choose not to, and then Red Wing will do 3 more damage. So we had a bunch of damage in our hand. This was a turn that we could have played Red Wing, I think, like twice or 3 more times. And so we actually had a fair bit more damage. We might not have had the optimal line there, but having to bounce between the highs and the lows with Leading Blow, Black Widow, and Battlefield Awareness is a lot of fun. And that's this deck. Protection, block with allies, uses Ops Room relatively well. I was actually surprised again. Not my favorite card because exhausting to block. Ideally, you're taking no damage, but if you play defense events, I think you can build the deck around it and keep yourself ready. Especially again with Falcon, who sees the top card of the deck, so you can ensure you're only being attacked for 2, which is the exact same thing we're doing, but blocking with allies gives us good value. Snowguard has been on the table for so long, and Victor Mancha, as much as we don't have Retaliate, also works relatively well. If you want to play this deck itself, it's in the description. There's a Marvel CDB link, so go ahead. You might have to hit the more button on YouTube. And if you like content like this, if you want to leave a like on the video, it helps a heck of a lot. We're streaming on this channel regularly. It looks like it's Fridays around 2 or 2:30 Eastern, so if you want to drop by for a live stream, that's a lot of fun. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.